Hi, it's Chris from Brickell Rentals. Whether you've a property to rent or you're an investor wanting to enter the buy-to-let market, I think it's important that we talk and you understand a little bit about legal responsibilities of becoming a landlord. And I've made a list of 10 items that I think every landlord needs to be aware of. So number one, take out some specialist landlord insurance. A normal household bricks and mortar policy won't do. You need to have a specific one for landlords that covers things such as damage to the property, loss of rent, and above all, legal expenses. Number two, draw up a tenancy agreement between you and the tenants and ensure that a new tenancy agreement is signed and drawn up at every change of tenancy. So that new agreement captures any change of legislation that have happened in the intervening period. Number three, arrange regular inspections of your property, but please don't just drop in. Give the tenant at least 24 hours notice. You want to make sure that the property is being looked after and that you're aware of any issues that are happening in there. Number four, arrange to get an energy performance certificate, and that energy performance certificate should be served on the tenant and it should have a minimum rating of E. Number five, obtain a gas certificate that's issued by a gas safe registered engineer. Make sure it's a gas safe registered engineer and that he checks and makes sure that all the gas appliances in the property are safe. Number six, you will need to carry out and make sure that the electrics in the property are safe and are checked, be that with a new installation, an electrical installation certificate, or an existing installation, EICR, electrical installation condition report. Those are done every 5 years. Also make sure that you've got smoke alarms on every habitable floor, and that it's very important that those smoke alarms are checked on the day of move-in and that you keep evidence of that. Also, it's a good idea to install a carbon monoxide alarm, because I know that legislation is coming in which is going to make those mandatory. Number seven, make sure that you don't need a licence to let the property. Remember, in Rotherham we have a number of selective licensing areas, and if your property falls within the boundaries of those areas, then you will need a licence. Remember, big HMOs, you will need a licence also for those. Number eight, protect your tenant's deposit. You're going to take a deposit from the tenant. Make sure you protect that within 30 days of receipt in one of the three government approved schemes, which is the DPS, Deposit Protection Service, My Deposits, or the Tenancy Deposit Scheme, TDS. You will need to provide the tenant with a deposit protection certificate and the relevant prescribed information, such as the amount of the deposit, the address of the property, and the details as to where the deposit is held, which scheme it's held in. You'll also need to provide the tenant a copy of the government's How to Rent report. And if you fail to do these things, you might not be able to evict the tenant should you need to do so. And you certainly won't be able to recover any costs against damages at the end of a tenancy. Number nine, make sure you know who you're renting to, carry out the relevant checks on the tenant, make sure you can afford the rent, and also make sure that they have the right to rent in the UK. You don't want to fall foul of the Home Office. And finally, number 10, keep the property well maintained. I know it's a tenant's responsibility to keep the property in good order, but you as landlord have to keep that property maintained, and any issues arising are promptly dealt with. And if you can record those actions that you've taken, that would be very useful. So I hope those 10 points have been useful. If you have any queries on any of that, don't hesitate to give me a call. So it's Chris from Brickell Rentals. Thanks for your time. Thank you.